Hello everyone. This is very first actually, video in home quarantine, and this time we are going to deal with the grammar translation method. At the onset, it is important to say that this classical method of language learning denotes the supremacy of grammar and translation, and it is, as I have already told you, the offspring of the 18th century German scholarship. There is a socio-cultural need because in 18th century England there was a demand of translating the original Greek and Latin texts into English, and its demand was once again felt in the colonial India when the British rulers wanted to create people, Indian, actually subjects, who are Indian by blood and British by culture. There are certain characteristics, obviously, and the first one is very important, the emphasis on mother tongue. The exponents of this method opine that any language can be best learned when compared with the mother tongue, and it is a powerful tool, obviously, to learn the foreign language by comparing its grammatical structure and other sentence structure and every other structure, because here the mother tongue helps to learn the target language properly. Obviously, there is a supremacy of grammar and underlining the maxim that grammar is the heart of any language, and the exponents stated that, obviously it is stated not only by the exponents, but it is a rule of thumb that if anyone wants to learn any language, then he or she has to proceed through its grammatical structure. In case of teaching vocabulary, the teachers or the more learned ones use all those bilingual materials, that is bilingual charts, dictionaries and other stuff. Focus obviously on reading and writing in particular. The teacher shows more authority in case of dealing with the class, and the students do exactly what they are permitted to do within the periphery of the class, and the deductive method is followed, and through the process of translation the learners will be able to know the two languages simultaneously. Here are some important questions that one might ask. What are the goals of the teacher actually who use this kind of method? Actually, there is a fundamental purpose of learning a foreign language. Those who use this method, they told us that this fundamental purpose of learning a foreign language is to be able to read a literature within the or written in the target language, within the periphery of the target language. And to do this, students need to learn about the grammatical rules and vocabulary of the target language, that is L2 in case of us, it is English. In addition, it is believed that studying a foreign language provides the students with good mental exercise that helps to develop their mind, their intellect. What should be the teaching learning process? There are certain characteristics, of course. The students are taught to translate from one language to another using the help of their mother tongue. Often what they translate are readings in the target language, that is the passages that are provided by the teachers or in the textbooks, and students study grammar deductively. They also learn grammatical paradigms. They memorize native language equivalents for target language vocabulary words. How is the evaluation accomplished, and what is the role of language here, and obviously what is the role of culture here? In case of language, it is the literary language that is considered as superior to the spoken language, and is therefore it is the language that the students study through or by using their textbooks. Culture is viewed as consisting of literature and the fine arts. And in case of evaluation, written tests in which students are asked to translate from their native language to the target language or vice versa are often used. Questions about the target culture and questions that ask the students to apply pre-learned grammatical rules are also very much common. In case of errors, it is very important that the students should provide the correct answer. If students make errors or do not know an answer, the teacher supplies them with the correct answers. There are certain techniques. The translation, as I have already told, is the more important one. There are translation of a literary passage that you can say coming out from the literary text, the textbook, or provided by the teacher. Reading comprehension questions are also important, and here, as you have already seen, that the students at the first level, they are often asked to answer certain questions, the answer of which can be found in the text. And then on the second level of questions, students will have to make inferences based on their understanding of that passage. And in the third stage of questions, they are asked to relate the passage to their own experiences. In case of cognates, one thing is important, that the using cognates would only be useful in languages that share the cognates. Deductive application of rules, especially in case of grammar, is very much important. Fill in the blanks, memorization, use of words in sentences are very common. And in case of composition, the teacher mainly gives the students a topic to write about in the target language, and the topic is based upon some aspect of the passage of the lesson that is they have already read. Sometimes instead of creating a composition, students are asked to prepare a précis of the reading passage. Important enough, because every single medium has some merits and demerits. In case of merits, we can say that obviously it lays emphasis on reading and writing, and the students gets ample opportunity to be acquainted with the two languages simultaneously. The importance and learning of grammar is primary, that is they will have a very strong base so far as the grammar is concerned, and the art of translation is superbly done in this method, and through this process of translation, the learners will be equipped to know two languages simultaneously, as I have already told you that. It is very accurate one in case of language learning. Known to unknown, obviously another important part, and obviously in case of a large class, in our context, it is a very handy one, but there are some important demerits also. It follows the deductive way of teaching. Psychologically, it is not so much sound, and only the four language skills are emphasized here, the reading and writing. The other two are somewhat neglected, and sometimes knowing both the languages at a time and is not at all easy. And obviously there is a very important aspect, that there are few words which are absolutely non-transferable or not translatable. Emotion, we can't translate our emotions. So if we want to provide an evaluation of grammar translation method, we can say that in modern communication or communicative approaches, concept is primary, grammar is secondary. Therefore, this thing, that is the grammar translation method, should be modified properly to match the needs of the day. The four language skills should be properly addressed, and so it should be modified and modernized as far as possible if we want to use it in our class. Thank you everyone for listening to me.